Hello, it's good to see you. Today we are going to listen to the story of Little Red Riding Hood. So first, let's make sure that we have all of our characters. For Little Red Riding Hood, you need Little Red Riding Hood. Can you find her? You might have one of her feeling happy and one of her feeling scared and running away. Have you got them? Well done. We also need the wolf. We have one where he looks like a wolf and one where he's wearing a nightdress. Have you got both of your wolves? Excellent. The other people we need are Red Riding Hood's grandma. There she is. And the woodcutter. Can you find him? Perfect. Then let's get started. Once upon a time, there was a little girl who always wore a red hood. Can you find her? There she is, and she always has a red hood. We call her Little Red Riding Hood. And one day, Little Red Riding Hood was walking through the forest, on the way to visit her grandmother. But on the way through the forest, Little Red Riding Hood stopped to smell some flowers. Oh, shall we smell some flowers? And maybe Little Red Riding Hood smelled some flowers. And while she was smelling the flowers, out of the woods came a big, bad wolf. Can you find your wolf? Perfect. And the wolf came up to Little Red Riding Hood and said, "Where are you going?" "Oh, I'm going down the road to visit my grandmother." "Oh, I better go now before I'm late." And Little Red Riding Hood walked on to visit her grandmother. But the wolf took a shortcut, and quick as a flash, whoosh, he turned up at her grandmother's house. And he went knock, knock, knock. Can you help me? He went knock, knock, knock at the door. Let's try one more time. He went knock, knock, knock. And soon, Red Riding Hood's grandmother opened the door. Can you find her? There she is. Red Riding Hood's grandmother opened the door. She opened the door. She opened the door, and then she went, oh! She was so scared. She went, oh! Because behind the door was the wolf. And quick as a flash, he gobbled her up. Oh! Shall we try that again? He gobbled her up. Oh! Let's try one more time. He gobbled her up. Oh! And then the wolf went into Grandma's closet and chose some night clothes to wear. Can we find the wolf who has changed from no clothes to Grandma's clothes? Perfect. And then the wolf climbed into bed. Soon, Can you find Little Red Riding Hood again? There she is. Soon Little Red Riding Hood came to the door, and she went, knock, knock, knock. Perfect. Can you try one more time? Here we go. She went, knock, knock, knock. And from inside the house, the wolf said, "Who is it?" "It's me, Grandma. I've come to bring you some lunch." "Well, come in, my dear." And so Red Riding Hood opened the door. Can you help me with that one? She opened the door and went inside. And Red Riding Hood went inside. And under the covers, she could see 2 big ears poking out. Can you make 2 big ears like a wolf? She saw 2 big ears poking out. And Red Riding Hood said, "Grandma, what big ears you have!" And the wolf said, "All the better to hear you with, my dear." And then Red Riding Hood saw 2 big eyes poking out. Shall we see? She saw 2 big eyes poking out. "Grandma, what big eyes you have," she said. "All the better to see you with, my dear," said the wolf. And next, Red Riding Hood saw a big black nose sticking out. "Grandmother, what a big nose you have!" "All the better to smell you with, my dear." And then Red Riding Hood saw some big teeth sticking out. "Grandmother, what big teeth you have!" "All the better to eat you with, my dear." And the wolf jumped out of bed, and Red Riding Hood ran as fast as she could. Let's find Red Riding Hood where she is scared and running away. Can you find this Red Riding Hood? Well done. Red Riding Hood ran as fast as she could. "Ah! Wolf! Help!" Out of the cottage. And outside, there was a woodcutter who heard her yelling. Can you find the woodcutter? There he is, perfect. And the woodcutter came up to the wolf and he said, "Stop!" Can you help me? The woodcutter said, "Stop!" Let's try that one more time. He said, "Stop!" And the wolf was so scared of the woodcutter that he spit Grandma back up. Can you try that? He spit Grandma back up. Here she is. And the wolf ran away into the forest, never to be seen again. And Red Riding Hood, let's get her again, and her grandmother, can you find her? They went into the cottage to have lunch together. The end. Let's give a big round of applause for the story. Thank you for telling it with me. Well done looking for all of the puppets and doing some of the actions. Nice work. Bye.